For nearly 50 years, the Jerusalem Cinematheque has been a hub to provide a platform for Israeli filmmakers to show their work and to get recognized. But now, this center has become an international hub of filmmakers from all different regions. And right now, the 21st annual Jerusalem Jewish Film Festival is taking place. People here on opening night getting ready for a film festival to be going on throughout the week. Among the films that are being screened, many of which also made headlines during the Cannes Film Festival, as well as the Venice Film Festival. The main theme of this year's festival is cultural pluralism, in which they're going to be screening films of all different genres, films reflecting religious life, secular life, as well as interfaith relationships, and even films from the eyes of a farmer from Austria who refused to pledge allegiance to Hitler and was actually executed. That film is called Hidden Life, and that is a film many people are talking about, as well as films being screened that made headlines at the Cannes Film Festival this year, as well as the Venice Film Festival, among them Roman Polanski's film, An Officer and a Spy. Amid all of the controversy and conflict, the organizers here said that art supersedes life. Also screening at the festival this week is Never Stop Dreaming, a film by an Oscar-winning director, Rick Trank, about the life of Shimon Peres, in which he spent the last months of his life interviewing him. Also being screened is a documentary about the rise and fall of Harvey Weinstein. That is another film that's expected to turn some heads. Also making headlines is a film about documenting the Miami Jewish neighborhoods before the whole Art Deco of the South Beach scene, when it used to be an older Jewish neighborhood back in the day. And everybody's talking about Lauren Bacall. In fact, the crowds that are here are, many of them are going to see a film about her, which is a documentary called A Look from the Sky, a story about this screen legend coming from being the daughter of immigrants, Jewish immigrants, to America, and then becoming one of the biggest movie stars in the world, of course, the wife of Humphrey Bogart, a pair that's pretty much epitomized the golden age of Hollywood, and also many people excited because they're being treated to a special edition, a copy of the famous film Have and Have Nots, and we spoke to one American theater goer about what it's like to be in Jerusalem seeing such a classic film.
Well, I love Hollywood history. I particularly like Bogart and Bacall. I've read a lot about them. Some of the best films ever made. So, yes, I've seen this film many, many years ago. It's time to see it again. I'd like to know more about Betty Persky, who became Lauren Bacall. So I'm very glad there's a film here for that.
So, as you can see, people lining up to see a whole array of movies, over a dozen films that are going to be screened all week until the day after Christmas, December 26th. Reporting from Jerusalem, Emily Francis, I-24 News.
Now, joining me from Jerusalem is festival organizer Daniela Taubman. Daniela, thank you so much for joining us. Now, first of all, tell me why it's so important to have a Jewish film festival in the first place.
It's important to have a Jewish film festival because there are so many movies about Jewish life and Jewish culture and heritage that are made every year, and this is an incredibly good forum for showing those movies and inviting filmmakers from all over the world to present their films.
And tell us a little bit about the theme of the festival.
We have several themes. First of all, we have our international competition, which is basically the best movies of the past year from the big film festival circuit and the big distributors. The movies that were in Cannes, in Venice, at the Toronto Film Festival, at the New York Film Festival, at Telluride, movies like that are competing in our international competition. We have our interfaith film competition for movies dealing with interfaith relations between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We have a category of short Israeli films. We have new Israeli cinema. More subjects include documentary films, a whole section of movies dedicated to Vienna and Freud, films about philosophers, artists, writers, and we have classics.
And what's behind the decision to include Polanski's film, The Officer and the Spy?
Roman Polanski's film, An Officer and a Spy, is one of the most important films of the year. It won one of the biggest awards at Venice in August. And as a Cinematheque, as a film archive, it's our duty to show good cinema, regardless of the filmmaker's personal life.
So have you received any backlash about this inclusion?
No, not at all. In fact, his two films are probably, the two screenings of his film are probably among the most successful so far ticket-wise.
And does it show that people can separate life from art?
They do, and I don't think it's only that. It's also the fact that Roman Polanski is on such a level as a filmmaker. Truthfully, many people believe that he's one of the best filmmakers working today, one of the most important filmmakers working today. So, in a way, it's just because he's an artist on such a level that people just want to see his work.
And tell me about some of the other standout films.
One of the biggest standout films in the festival is A Hidden Life by Terrence Malick, which competed at Cannes this past summer. And what's interesting about A Hidden Life is that it's about a conscientious objector who refused to serve in Hitler's army out of Christian ideals. And our decision to include a movie like that in a Jewish film festival, a movie that does not mention Jews, a movie that has nothing to do with the concentration camps, it's basically about a Christian farmer who, out of religious and spiritual conviction, could not serve Hitler, is very important because that's a movie that took place during World War II, but had nothing to do with Jews. And that's when we start talking about movies of Jewish interest, movies that are not inherently Jewish, but movies that interest the viewer who wants to know more about her or his heritage or history, about World War II, about the Holocaust. And it doesn't necessarily concern the Jewish story, but it's still part of our history. So we're very lucky this year to be showing a beautiful documentary about screen siren Lauren Bacall. It's a documentary about her life, about her upbringing in New York, about her Jewish immigrant parents, how they pushed her to become what she was, how she went to her first audition with Howard Hawks and met Humphrey Bogart, and they made history together. They were in love, and they made the most incredible movies. And we are also showing a beautiful 35mm print of To Have and Have Not by Howard Hawks, and it's a rare opportunity to see such a beautiful movie on screen again.